How y'all doing, my apers? Welcome back to the Buzz on a Block. Yes, I know it's been a minute since y'all seen my beautiful face, but guess what? We have a very special guest here today with us. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's going on? It's your boy Wester Tech, aka Connect. You already know what time it is.
Yes, sir, Connect.
My brother.
Yes, sir, my brother.
You gonna tell him the story of how we met?
We're going to tell them, but before
All
we
right.
get into all the great festivities, I just want to start off the show with a small prayer.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everybody, close your eyes and
Yeah.
bow your head. Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for our daily bread. We ask you to continue watching over us and to protect us under the covenant of your wing. Lord, we ask you to anoint our steps, to anoint our journey, and to continue to be the best that you are, Father. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, sir.
Love that. We're gonna have to have a talk about that. We're gonna have to have a talk about that.
Yeah.
I need to know more about your journey.
Oh, definitely. But first, we're gonna talk about your journey and how you got started, when your creative process, and how it shapes who you are today and right now.
From like the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So for me, I started my music journey actually from a challenge from the pastor at my church.
Oh, wow.
I was in youth ministry at the time. I was already a couple of years in, and
How old were you?
oh my goodness, 18 maybe, 18, 19, somewhere around there, and our youth pastor, he was just like, hey, I want you guys to just make a Christian rap song, and perform it.
Oh, wow.
But he didn't ask me personally. He asked some of the other youth leaders, right?
Yeah.
And they always knew me as a fan of music because I used to listen to everything, So they was like, yo, come help us do this. I'm like, no, I'm not helping you guys in any way, shape, or form. I'm not about to go on stage and make a fool of myself trying to do Christian hip hop. I don't even know what that even sounds like, So they kept convincing me. It went from no to I'll pray for y'all to I'll help y'all write, to I'll do the chorus.
Sound like my
You know what I'm saying? Like little by little, I was volunteering for more and more. Next thing I know, I'm doing the chorus, one of the verses, the intro, the
Oh, my
outro.
God.
But we did the performance, and shout out to FBC. It was a success. It was a great performance, and that kind of they just kept asking us to do more and more. So we just kept doing more and more and more music. Next thing I know, we're getting more and more performances, this, that, and the third, and here we are at one point. I mean, this is early 2000s. So
Okay.
this is like when Rapzilla really first started, and a lot of those websites promoting Christian hip hop just started. And
wow.
at one point, our mixtape was side by side with Lecrae's first album.
Okay.
Like we was already, this is before the world really knew him, but we were on that same trajectory. But we ended up having a big falling out and everything like that. It was crazy,
Christian
but
hip hop.
yeah. Hey, believe it or not, we're still humans, right? So sometimes groups break even in Christian hip hop. You get even in, there's probably gospel bands out there that have broken up in the past. You get what I'm saying? It's just life happens. In our case, it was some wild stuff that happened, some family member passings. There was a lot that was going on. Life really hit us.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And we had to fall apart, and I took it out on music. So I stopped doing music. Probably like 6 years. I stopped doing music, and one day my mentor who taught me how to engineer, he was just like, I want you back in music. And that was 2019. And I'm here doing music all over again as a solo artist for the first time. But I've been more successful as a solo artist than I ever was as the group. But I do believe that if the group stuck together, we would have been, the sky was the limits for sure. But, everyone has their own journey.
Okay. And it's funny that you say 2019 was the year that you jumped back in and doing music, because I believe that was the year we met.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
actually
it definitely was. It
locked
definitely
it
was. And I remember meeting you for the first time. For those of you who don't know, I also own a recording studio, and I have a lot of clients who come in, and you were one of those faithful clients who came in. And, you know, I just remember the first time you were in the booth, hearing your voice, I was like, well, that's different. That is different.
I appreciate
I
it.
like it. You know, and I think that's one of the greatest things about, you know,
Yeah.
certain artists. It's just like they're unique.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy now because everyone's trying to sound like everybody
Yeah,
else.
I feel like that's what's missing in the game. That
Of
uniqueness.
course, that's what's missing. That's the biggest piece of music that's missing.
Yeah.
And there's a saying I have, like, there's the long-term rappers, there's the short-term rappers. The short-term rappers are the ones who kind of sound like everybody else, have their moment in the sun, and then disappear. The long-term ones are usually the ones that have their own sound, have their own vibe. They're so unique that they last forever.
Yeah.
You know, people still listening to pop. People still listening to DMX. People still listening to, heck, Ludacris. You get what I'm saying? They were all unique in their own way. And when I heard your voice, I was like, yeah, nobody has ever heard that before. And they're going to, it might catch them off guard at first.
Yeah.
But they're going to learn to enjoy it. You get what I'm saying? And I think that's definitely what hip hop is missing for sure.
Yeah, I feel like we come from an era that it's either you could rap or you couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Now you have people that kind of squeeze in, not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but it's more for the revenue now instead of the
1000%.
craft. You know, we come
1000%.
from rapping off the metronome and using different instruments and learning beats per minute just off tapping off the table and
For
stuff
sure,
like that.
for sure.
I feel like that element is missing with
1000%.
right now.
But you know what? A big piece of that is the way music is created now.
Yeah.
With the way, like, heck, with auto-tune alone, everybody thinks they could sound good, you know? And the reality of auto-tune is you have to be able to hold a note. You actually have to still put good melodies together for it to really capture people. You get what I'm saying? There's more to it than just throwing on the effect and thinking that you're going to sound great, you know, because a lot of times you're going to just end up sounding like everybody else, you know? So our era was definitely the last era of music, but I'll always say that there's always gems that'll always pierce through no matter what era we're in. Because we could say whatever we want about, the current era or the last era that's kind of about to end.
Yeah.
But that era did give us Kendrick. That era did give us Drake. That era did give us J. Cole. You get what I'm saying? That era gave us Chance the Rapper. You know, these are cats who's like, they're unique in their own way, but we could put them in the table with the greats. You know what I mean?
True.
So it's just good. Real music will always find its way through everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. And since we're on the topic, I just want to know a little bit about who you took inspiration from.
Ooh, see, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, so I personally always had an issue with that because I would try to take inspiration from certain people, but then I would get frustrated because I don't sound like them. You get what I'm saying? Like, I had an era, I was like, man, Method Man's so cool, man. He sounds so dope. I want to rap like him. You know what I'm saying? And then when I turn on the mic, I don't sound nothing like him. I don't have his accent. I don't have his swag. I don't got nothing like him. You get what I'm saying? Like, everybody that I love listening to, I couldn't sound like them. And that frustrated me. You know, there's a lot of artists, they'll try their best to try to sound like them. I was opposite. I'm like, I can't even try it because I don't sound like Eminem. I don't sound like Tupac. As much as I tried, I can't do it. You get what I'm saying? So, like, it used to be a very deep, it was something I was self-conscious about for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? But then one day, you know, I just remember praying to God. I was just like, man, why can't I sound like these people? And I just remember he responded back to me like, because I made you you.
Yeah.
That was intentional. I didn't want you to sound like anybody else because your sound is the sound that people are going to gravitate to. And ever since then, I think that was the defining moment in my career that I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. You know what I mean? But yeah, they still inspire me as far as just the love of their music. Them, how much they love music, I find inspiration in that. Like, yo, Eminem's he actually just announced that he's a grandfather. Wow. He's about to be a grandfather and he's still putting out music. That's inspirational within itself. You get what I'm saying? So I'm telling you, I'm telling you, stuff like that, that's where I get more of the inspiration from. Less on the artistic side, but more on the just the longevity and the character and all of those different things. Like people are still replaying Tupac's interviews.
Yeah.
Not even his music, just straight up his interviews. The things he was saying to the world. You know what I mean? Like that's where I get most of my inspiration from.
From people like that.
Yeah.
I'll say
yeah,
Nipsey.
the conversations outside of music.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Just the
For sure.
impact. Okay. Yeah, because I take a lot of inspiration from like Nipsey Hussle,
Oh yeah.
Master P,
1000.
just people on that entrepreneur route and just not just looking for things outside, inside the music, but
Yeah.
avenues out the music, focusing on health, putting out positive messages to not only the youth, but to the older crowd as well.
For
'Cause
sure.
we're all still learning. We're all, human, as you said, and we can all take inspiration and learn something from anybody.
For sure. For sure.
So I love that how you answered that question right there.
For sure.
You could have said a whole lot of names, but some people may inspire you, and then you might have another inspiration. So inspiration
Yeah.
is fleeting, but I feel like
Yeah.
purpose is forever.
Oh, 1000%. I mean, that's the most important thing to have on earth is purpose. Well, was it Miles Monroe? I think you said it. Like,
think so.
we
I think I
get
said
born
last
twice. Everyone gets born twice. The day we're actually born, the second time we're born is the day we find out why we're born. You get what I'm saying? And that's the whole purpose thing. And sometimes people take a long time before they find their purpose. Some people run away from their purpose,
Yes.
But when you find it and you fully live in it, that's when God can really bless you in ways that you could never imagine.
Yeah, and you actually, I tell a lot of people this, that you are actually an inspiration for me in terms of faith and keeping my faith. So
Praise
I
God.
know you.
Praise God. That's why you see, I said we need to talk because you open up in prayer. I was actually surprised by that. I know that God walks with you. So there ain't no question about that. You get what I'm saying? But it's how much do you walk with him? You get what I'm saying? And not coming from a place of judgment, but coming from a place like, do you feel protected? You get what I'm saying? Do you feel loved? You get what I'm saying? Because these are the things that God offers us and has for us. And it's literally sitting on the table waiting for us. But unless we want it ourselves, we can never tap into it. You get what I'm saying? So, you starting off with prayer, I love that so much because I've been a part of, Christian platforms that we ain't start off in prayer.
Oh my God.
You get what I'm saying? So it's about the heart rather than the message, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and a little bit about my journey, because I know you wanted me to touch on it before the camera cut on.
Yeah.
Before I met you, or when I met you, I was stepping back into my faith. I was going to church. I had a pastor that lived in my neighborhood who worked as security. He brought all of us together, me, Zay, most of them who was in the neighborhood. But 3 years prior to that, I wouldn't say I was an atheist, but I didn't believe in anything. I was in 10th grade. My teacher, he gave us like this proverb, like, how much do you believe in God? How much do you know your faith? Do you even ask yourself these questions? And it just hit me that day, like, wow, how much do I believe in God? Is there even a God? And, coming from just impoverished environments and just now I'm going into environments where they're drinking alcohol or doing drugs. We're all doing different stuff. I was lost at that point. So it took me to experience different encounters spiritually and gaining that heart to really like make my way back out of that valley. I would say out of the valley.
I love that. Let me ask you, like, because I'm always curious when it comes to this, like, because I've never, like, I didn't grow up in a house with, I won't say with God, but strong Bible thumpers. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I had that journey of, like, not believing in anything. You get what I'm saying? What do you think was the biggest attribute to why you didn't believe in anything? Because, of course, you've heard, in impoverished neighborhoods, you're going to hear Jesus a lot because we pray a lot in impoverished neighborhoods. we pray a lot in impoverished neighborhoods. You get what I'm saying? So, because we try to get up out there. We're
Thank
praying
you,
for
Jesus.
food. We're praying for rent.
stamps,
You know what I'm
we
saying?
pray-
We're praying for
what?
everything.
Come
You know what I'm
on,
saying?
man.
So,
The water,
like,
the turn the
correct.
faucet, man.
Man, I pray these lights stay off tonight. I know I ain't paying, but I'm praying for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you think led you to just not believe in anything?
I would say just feeling outcasted by God. You know, I say it in a couple of my songs, but just not feeling the connection. Just being in the situation I was in. I was staying with my pop, but you know, he was at work all day, and then he left work. He's preparing for the next day. So, you know, sometimes, you know, the lights were off, water was off, the situation wasn't the best. You know, it was kind of like a abandoned house in that sense. So just feeling outcasted of the world, not having much, not being able to do much, just feeling helpless. That made me like, oh, you know, I ain't really say F God or nothing like that, but it was just like cursing him, like, why is this happening to me, da-da-da. So that's what happened right there. And it just falling deeper into, like, I would say like a depressive phase.
I feel that.
It made me question too, but yeah.
I feel that, and it's interesting because you say feeling outcasted is kind of what blockaded you. You know what I'm saying? Being an outcast, I feel like we share that in common. You know, I was definitely outcasted for growing up. You know, and I was just outcasted just off of just looks alone. You get what I'm saying? Like, people just didn't want to rock with me. Just they see me and they're like, no, I don't like this guy. Not even trying to get to know me, because if you get to know me, we cool. You know what I'm saying? But for me, it was learning about Jesus and seeing how they outcasted him.
Yeah.
That brought me closer to it.
Okay.
Because now I found a common thing between me and him. You get what I'm saying? It's like, man, he was, and just reading his stories and understanding, it's like, yo, like, look how y'all outcasting this man. This man, like, you guys just, why? You get what I'm saying? But it's like I understood and I related with Jesus on that aspect, and that's what made me want to learn more about him and just understand it more. You get what I'm saying? Because that's the reality of this walk. We're supposed to be outcasts.
Wow.
That's what our job title is almost. You get what I'm saying? We're
job.
supposed to be in this world, but not of it.
Yeah.
So we're automatically supposed to be on a different frequency and a different wave, and people are supposed to look at us like we're not with them. You get what I'm saying? So I love how you said that, because, you know, I relate with that for sure.
Yeah, and you said that's our job title, but just going back to the scripture, Job, or Job, however you pronounce it, the way he started off, you know, they basically described him as somebody who was humble, who was God-fearing, who, you know, didn't like evil, and then just the battle that he had to go through. That resonated for me. But what made me like turn around and walk with God and not turn back was just the spiritual encounters. You know, I've always had different spiritual encounters since I was a child, and I was trying to run from it. I know we were speaking on fears, and, you know, I would see spirits clear. I would wake up, feel presences and stuff like that. So, you know, that made me not believe in God. That made me believe like I'm being haunted, I was cursed, and things of that nature. So my journey was, you know, hard from the beginning. You know, being 4, 5, 6 years old, just dreams of just falling in abyss, darkness, and waking up when I drop to the floor. Like, yeah, it gets serious.
Let me ask you something though. With what you just said right there, because what sometimes people, those visits from those spirits, right? Was it that you didn't believe that God existed, or was it that you didn't believe that he cared about you?
Yeah.
Because the reason I say that is because someone who's able to see spirits and be visited like that, you know there's a spiritual world.
Yes.
You know about spiritual warfare because you've seen it. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's like that message, the greatest mistake that the devil ever did was reveal himself to the world. Why? Because the moment he reveals himself, he automatically confirms the existence of God. Because you can't have one without the other. So if you see bad spirits, that means that angels exist. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
So it's like in that moment, it might have not been that you didn't believe. It might have just been that you might have thought that he just didn't see you or didn't care about you. You get what I'm saying? And because those who don't believe in anything, they don't even believe in spirits and stuff at all.
Oh.
You get what I'm saying? Now, my descendants are Haitian. You go, my grandma got some stories. Listen, when I used to sit in front of the TV with my grandma, we would put anything in front of the screen. She's like, unfazed. Unfazed. It don't matter. The most scariest movie you could think of is completely unfazed.
Jesus Christ.
And I always understood it because of the story she would tell me. You want to hear a scary story? Let my grandma tell it to you, because she would witness these things in her life. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why people who deal with stuff like that, they end up becoming either the most faithful people, but either way, they believe in spirits regardless. You get what I'm saying? So I could only imagine how terrifying that probably was for you, especially at that young of an age, you know, but to see you now and to see your fruit and to see just the spirit that you hold with you, you know, it's just all thanks to God.
Yes.
For sure. Because I remember when I first met you, like, you know, and that's one of the things that I feel like I've always been blessed with is just discernment. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you walked in with the squad, you know, y'all came, I think first time y'all came maybe 8 deep. I'm like, okay, you know, there's really was supposed to be this studio built for like 2. I promise. They had like 8 people in my booth. My booth could hold like maybe 2 people max. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 2 people max. You know, it was hot in there. Don't even lie. There was 8 of y'all in there. I know it was hot.
That was before COVID and we put the glass on.
Y'all all had hoodies on. 8 of y'all. 1 person rapping, but 8 people in there. Made no sense. And I knew y'all was hot. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, you stood out of all of them. Wow. You get what I'm saying? From the spiritual eye, and it's just I'm just grateful to know that, you know, you're walking with him more now. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how was that journey from? Because you said that's when you was getting back into it.
Yeah.
Like, because we haven't seen each other in a while. You know, we still chatting stuff on IG and stuff, but actually
true.
like seeing each other and like chopped it up like this. Like, how has it been recently?
That's a good question. I mean, I'll start from where you said, like, from my faith. Like, when I met you, like, I just graduated. I started college. You know, I was doing a lot with Broward College and whatnot. I wasn't as aware as I am now in terms of what I do and how it affects others subconsciously on the outside. So I would say back then, like, I was a little bit more reckless. I was 19, but I was rolling with a squad or whatever have you, and I didn't know anything about monitoring spirits or things of that nature.
Deep.
So I was still kind of, you know, in that abyss, just what's holding me back, or I feel like something's missing, or people around me is not right. So that's I was kind of doing a little bit more digging, but then after the pandemic, after rest in peace Zay, then we lost Zay.
Yeah, that was tough.
And that was the day. It's crazy because Kobe had passed the day before, and then we had seen him in the neighborhood. He was like, "Yo, what's good, Zay?" He was like, "Yeah, you heard about Kobe?" He was like, "Yeah, bro." And prior to that, we haven't seen him in a while. That was 2020. We haven't seen him like probably around this time or even earlier from the year prior. So it was just so crazy. We seen him, and then he's like, "All right, y'all boys." And the next day, I got a big showcase at 954 Ultra Lounge. I ended up winning, and I won a contest. I forgot how much money I won. Shout out Tone C. But it was the call before. It was like, yeah, my bro, he's actually in the church as well, heavy in the church in his faith. He's the one that gave me the call. He was like, yeah, I didn't even know he knew him either, but he gave him the call and broke the news. I was like, wow, I didn't know how to feel, because the year before, prior to that, God was giving me like discernment and messages like something's coming, something's coming. And you know, it was the pandemic, but I was just getting those messages, and I was in my faith. I was going on YouTube and sharing, just speaking and sharing my message with people. So that's when I say I was crawling back in, but I still felt like locked out. Like God had me locked out. Like what am I doing wrong? So the pandemic, just that time of sitting down and just knowing that God gave me a message and it came to fruition about something in the world, let me know like, wow, like this something has got to be going on that's real. This has to be real. Like revelations, the end times,
1000%.
just different scriptures that I know off the top of my head that confirm this stuff. I'm seeing it in real time, and everybody else is just reacting to it like it's regular. Everybody's just in the world still. Just that's when I realized, okay, we're not. Something's, you know, you hear all the scriptures and you think, oh, the end times is just gonna be fire coming out the sky and just destruction.
Nah, there's
But
layers to that.
it's yeah.
There's layers
Go
to
ahead.
that. There's a lot of layers to that. It comes in stages. It comes in stages, and we in it now. We in it now. That's the reality of it, man. And I know that season. I mean, that season was tough for all of us. I mean, I think it was crazy because obviously you guys he used to come with you guys. You know, he had a couple of records as well.
Yeah, but even before music, like he was just that friend that always was there for me because
I was just about to say that.
Like my situation was probably, I don't want to say the worst to me. It sound like I'm bragging, but it was the worst. You know, I didn't have what everybody else had.
1000%.
I didn't have familial aid. I didn't have my mom, my dad. My mom's somewhere where she at.
Yeah.
So he was always the one that stuck up for us.
Yeah.
And I really feel that.
Yeah.
You know, and even the energy around him before he passed, I tried to talk to him about the word and try to give him some word encouraging books and stuff like that. He was like, nah, I don't want that. I don't need that.
Man.
You know, but I still rock with him because that was real.
Yeah,
you know, he went all the way with his mindset, kind of similar to like King Von.
Yeah.
But that also confirmed to me like, okay, there's two sides to this. There's layers to this. It's what you pick and choose.
I feel that, and you know what, like as meeting him, and obviously I spent some time with him as well, you know, just being in the studio and everything like that, and he always had a good spirit about him as well. You know, so you telling me, you know, like he was rejecting and stuff, like I never, anytime I hear that, in my mind, the first place it goes, something happened. Something happened. You don't just wake up, you know, or as soon as you're born, you go throughout this life, right? And then the first time you hear about Christ, you just reject it. Nah, there's something that had to happen to build up to that. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes it takes a while to find out what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have prayed for some things and felt like they got let down. You get what I'm saying? I think we've all been there before. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I always try to handle that with grace and like, okay, let me spend more time with him. Let me become a brother to him first.
Facts.
And then hopefully, I'm going to keep praying, and hopefully that day will come that he's ready to at least reveal it to me why he rejecting it so much. Because how can you reject something so beautiful? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, if you get ice cream, chocolate, cake, and put it in front of me, like, and you say no, I'm a question. What you mean no? Even if you want it later, you can say, tell me you want it later, but you're not going to have none of this ice cream cake? That's crazy, fam. What experience you must have had with ice cream cake that gets you to be like, nah, I don't ever want this? you get what I'm saying? It's just, like that, though. Like,
I don't want,
you know,
like, straight up.
You know, when I get older, I'll take that.
Cool.
I'll get right when I'm older. Okay,
cool.
I'll take that.
Cool.
But if you rejecting God completely, something ain't up. You must have had some bad ice cream cake in your life for you to be like, yo, I want it. You get what I'm saying? And man, but you know, I believe God's grace. God has grace for everybody. You get what I'm saying? So I just hope that he's in a good place for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's the number one thing. You know, we don't know what's gonna happen when we leave.
Nah.
But you know, the number one thing we do know is that there is a God that sits above and looks low,
Yeah.
and you know there is consequences for everything, good and bad.
Yeah,
And that's
1000%. The bill will always come due. It's one of my favorite
oh,
sayings.
oh wow,
You know what I mean?
that's you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, hey, hey,
You
because
know,
Red
you know where I got it from? So, Doctor Strange, Mortal, right? Like he was always saying, because Doctor Strange, he was doing all of these different casts, and he was like, "Yo, everything has a cost. Everything has a cost, right?" And he was like, "You can't just use all of this and not pay the price. Everything has a cost." And it just kept repeating in my head. Everything got a cost, and I was like, "Well, if everything eventually that bill gonna come due." Right, so I'm like, you know what? That's it. The bill always comes due. If you purchase it, that bill gonna come due.
Better
You
believe.
just hope you got enough to pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Because
my.
you're gonna pay it one way or the other. The bill always comes due. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing I want to touch on is like fear. So
Ooh, could write a book. In music in general, or in music?
I mean, we could go music.
Music? Okay,
Yeah.
fear. False evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
I don't take credit for none of this stuff. That's the acronym. That's all I think of now. You know, shout out to Pastor Josh, Joshua Fakir. You know, that's my pastor right there. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
I know there's a lot of stuff he get from other people, but I credit him for it because he's the one who introduced it to me, right? Fear, false evidence appearing real. Turn it into an acronym. Essentially, it's not a real thing. You get what I'm saying? It's like AI. It's not a real thing. You know, we only make it real if we allow it to be real in our minds. You know, but me with music, fear was an absolute thing for me, especially because when I came back to it, I was by myself. I started off with a group. All I known was a group.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like when the Power Rangers started, they started together. Imagine pulling out the Red Ranger and be like, okay, you got to go do this by yourself now.
It was sometimes the Red Ranger wasn't there. They
Correct. But you can't form no
tore
Megazord by yourself, though.
No,
you
you
know what I'm saying? You need all 5 members.
They got their
You know what
behind
I'm
so
saying?
up,
Think about,
man.
hey, Voltron, try to film. You try to make that Zord by yourself. You're going to be missing 2 legs and 2 arms.
What?
You need all the members to be there to form the Megazord, you know? So now you telling me I got to rock with this by myself? I'm afraid. I don't even know how to do that. And truth be told, I never considered myself being the strongest member.
Oh.
I consider myself being the weakest member.
Oh snap.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone I was around with, they was all rapping better than me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But where I fit in was I was great on the marketing side and the business side and the management side of everything. So I was the one booking the shows and mixing and mastering everything and doing the production work. You get what I'm saying? So it was a perfect balance because they were the real lyricists. So now it's like, okay, yeah, I could produce and do all of this stuff, but I don't know if I could,
Lay a
you know what
track
I'm saying,
down.
do this. So, I was absolutely afraid. But what ended up happening was, and I guess you could call this a life change, you know. But right before COVID or 2019, when I pretty much decided to start my music career as a solo artist, a couple of months after starting, I got diagnosed with acute kidney failure. Remember that? I remember because you was hitting me up during that season, and we talked about it. And yeah, I lost both of my kidneys, right? So now I'm on dialysis. I mean, when you feel like you almost lose your life, I feel like that's when you really start living. That's when you really start living it. When you get that brush with death, you're like, oh, let me stop playing. Life is real, and we could lose that at any moment. I'm sure for a lot of y'all, when Zay left, that's when y'all realize, okay, this is what life is. Let me stop playing. Let me really figure out what life is about, because this ain't a video game. This ain't Grand Theft Auto, dusted, restart, I'm back at it. Nah, life is finite. It's not forever. So when I got diagnosed with acute kidney failure, I was just like, nah, I'm finna do this. I don't know how long I got. You know what I'm saying? I'm trusting in God. They say that I'm going to need a kidney. I trust God that he going to provide that kidney for me. but I'm not gonna let these dialysis treatments and all of this other stuff stop me from my assignment. I'm finna make this music. You get what I'm saying? So at that point, all fear was gone. All fear was gone. The fear of rejection, the fear of criticism, all of that was out the window at that point, because I'm like, I'm finna make this music whether y'all like it or not. You get what I'm saying? Because when I reach them gates, I want to at least be able to say, hey, I did what you asked me to do, even though I was scared. You know what I mean? And that's how I got over it. And another thing, bro, when we come from poverty, bro, fear is like, you tell me, okay, the only thing stopping me from being successful is my own fear, knowing that all I got to eat is ramen noodles. Man, I forget the fear. I'm gonna do this anyway. You know, what's my alternative? Continue to live where I'm living? Nah, I'm finna go after this. Call it win or lose. I'm finna go after it, because the alternative can be way better than where I'm at right now. You know.
Yeah.
But fear is a real thing, man. Fear holds a lot of people back. You know, I've worked with a lot of talented artists who's never released a song.
What?
Never released a song because of fear. I never told you about Sid, one of the artists who was on my album. Man, it shakes me to this day. It's during COVID. It's during COVID.
Yeah.
Dude, he was one of the dopest like sound artists I've ever worked with. I'm talking about comes in, everything off the dome. I'm talking about he wanted to be a part of this song. He wrote it in his mind in a matter of like 20 minutes. He didn't say nothing to me. He was just pacing in the booth. 20 minutes later, flawless delivery. Flawless delivery. He was on Stig. He's the second verse on Stig. That was one take. Flawless delivery.
Oh my God.
He wrote it right in front of me. Like, he didn't write it, but in his mind, he was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And he, to this day, I still got all of his music. But, you know, I kept pushing him, bro, release something.
Yeah.
Bro, like, I made him single covers so that he could release everything like that, but that fear was holding him.
What do you think it was?
Fear was holding him. Doubt, rejection, what it is for all of us. Doubt, rejection, imposter syndrome. You get what I'm saying? All of that stuff is what holds those artists back, you know? And he just, and then one day he hits me up. It was a Friday. He hits me up. He's like, bro, after this weekend, bro, I'm finna come in on Monday, and we're gonna sign up with DistroKid. We're gonna upload, and we're gonna get this song out. I'm like, bro, you ready? He's like, bro, I'm ready. Dude, I'm excited. At this point, I'm excited. I'm like, we finna do this. Monday comes. His best friend hits me up. Now, he usually ride together with his best friend. His best friend's also an engineer. Wow. He hits me up. I'm like, okay, y'all sliding. Y'all still sliding today, right? He's like, have you heard from Joey? I'm like, yeah, I spoke to him on Friday. He said, yeah. I thought wait, what's going on? He was like, he passed away over the weekend.
Oh.
His girl found him dead, unresponsive.
Oh.
At the crib. It broke me. It broke me because we was a couple of hours away from fulfilling that dream. Yeah. He never got to release that song. Never.
Condolences.
I mean, we 50 songs deep. Wow. He got one of the biggest folders in my computer. Never released a single song. And once he finally convinced himself, his life was taken from him. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I share that story with other artists to kind of scare them into releasing something. You get what I'm saying? But I just want everyone who loves making music to be, you know what that feel like when you got to do your first, good or bad, the moment of releasing that first song, going to your YouTube, going to your Spotify and see it, sending that link, I'm an artist. I created something that can be here forever. He never got to experience that.
Wow.
Because of fear. You know what I'm saying? So, like, man, don't let fear rob y'all from nothing. Nah. Period. No matter what your venture is, no matter what you're trying to do in life, just don't let fear rob you. I dang sure ain't. You know, I may have not have been here today. You know what I'm saying? But I can't let fear stop me. God. It ain't nothing. You know, false evidence appearing real. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's deep. Mm-hmm. And Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah, man, it was tough. It was tough. It was tough, but we gotta use those testimonies as fuel. We got to use those testimonies as fuel to the fire, and just make something out of it. I know his boy still been trying to figure it out, but like I say, he got like 50 different songs. We've been trying to figure out a way to finish them and make like the big old album or something, at least for his family to have. Get this, his family never knew that he was making music. Never knew.
Yeah, I feel like I can relate to that too because before I started coming to you,
Yeah.
I mean I was signed, but I was like 200-300 songs in.
Wow.
Not even dropping. I was
Wow.
recording in my closet off a program called Mixpad. It's for
Mixpad,
video.
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
about
yeah.
Mixpad. I was on there, and I was in that closet for like 17 till the time I started coming to you. And I know we touched on independent labels and
Yeah,
labels
of course.
in our interview. Speakers Don't Lie.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess we could touch on it a little bit here.
Okay.
I was signed, but I wasn't getting the attention from the label that you would get, like to singles, shows, and things of that nature. So I had to take it into my own hands. Like the fear was holding me back of like, dang, I don't want to drop a song and it's not a hit, or I gotta hear, oh, this is not good enough from the label. So I was just making music with that energy of, dang, I gotta make it. I gotta get something. So yeah, before I dropped 3 with Todd Hill on the track, She Likes Me with my boy Clean Top, my barber as well, and Dice, which I ended up going on tour with. I had about 200-300 songs like just in the vault, and just getting constant no. Now I'm scared. Now I don't know if I want to make music. Now I don't know if I am who I am. So I mean, I pretty much relate to that, and just having a whole bunch of music
And not releasing
and
it.
not releasing it, and we now have DistroKid and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
we only had like avenues like SoundCloud,
Yeah,
different things of that
yeah.
nature. So if you're gonna upload something, it's got to be like,
See, I think that's our biggest mistake as artists. What you just said right there. I feel like a lot of times we try to compare. We compare ourselves to other artists, but we're not given the true comparisons. For example, we're like, man, this person, Ross had a hit. This person had a hit. This person had a hit. I need to get a hit too. That is true. But what we never pay attention to is, was their first song a hit? You see what I'm saying? We put ourselves in a box like our first song got to be a hit, so we won't release nothing. You get what I'm saying? Hustling by Rick Ross, that was not his first song. It's not even close. You know how many songs he had before that song came out? He was featured on a Trina song way back before he had a beard.
yeah,
You get what I'm saying? The music video's still out. Y'all can go see that right now. That's still out right now.
Yeah, I gotta
you
do
get
my
what
homework.
I'm saying? You know how many songs was released before he got to that point? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we're trying to make our first song every day I'm hustling. You get what I'm saying?
like that.
So it's one thing comparing, but now we're comparing to an illusion. Because that's not the reality. Everybody got to get through a couple. Even Michael Jackson had to get through a couple of records with his brothers and stuff. Like, Off the Wall, that's not his first album.
Yeah.
Not his first album. He had a couple of albums before that weren't that good. I ain't gonna hold you. Michael Jackson, he got some records that weren't that good before he found his lane. You get what I'm saying? All of them like that. All of them. We don't give ourselves that grace, and I think that's where a lot of that fear comes from. We just release it, man. Just release it and keep releasing, and then eventually, there's gonna be that one record that you're proud of more than anything else, and that's gonna be the record that everybody else gonna be proud of too. But that fear, like I said, my boy, he ain't even tell his family.
Wow.
Only fear could stop something like that.
Yeah.
No one knew you was.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm at the funeral. They're doing the eulogy. They never mentioned the music.
Oh my God.
Never mentioned that part of his life. It's like he was a hard worker. He loved his job. He did. And I'm like, yo, he hated his job. He wanted to do music. He complained about his job all the time. I'm like, how do I know this man more than his own family?
Yeah.
Fear. That's what it is. You get what I'm saying? We got to overcome that. But just being that you was in the world of being signed, like, and you just said something. You said something that I kind of want to go back to. Of even though you were signed, you felt like you still had to do everything.
Yeah.
What is that? Like, I've never been signed before, and I don't know that world. All I know is independence. You get what I'm saying? And being an independent artist, that's what I promote. That's what I make my videos and stuff for. But like, as an independent artist, you got to do everything yourself. So when I hear people who are signed telling me the same thing, I get confused. You get what I'm saying? It's like, okay, how was it like? What would you say would be the big difference between at least the deal that you had versus being independent? What was the difference that you saw?
Leverage.
Wow.
I was 17. I knew I wasn't gonna make it in hooping, even though I was ranked, even though I was good. I could step on the court and play with the best of them.
Yeah.
But just not having the push behind me for those opportunities, I knew it was like I gotta get leverage somewhere, and it was music. I also like drawing. I'm into anime and animation, voice acting, stuff of that nature. But I'm like, what can I do now? And that was an opportunity that I seen that I could use. Now, being that it was kind of like a 360, I had to pay for my own beats. Like the beat for 3, I paid Todd Hill $1,000. 17 years old. I'm still in high school. Where am I gonna get that money from?
Yeah.
So it really put a battery in my back.
Yeah.
To like, okay, nothing is given. Even if you're signed, you don't want to be into the rhythm of, hey, okay, they're gonna give me a $30,000 budget, and I'm just gonna go get a car or go in the club or make it look like I'm there.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's also a fear outside of music that that others have when they see, I guess, the scammers or the rappers that have all the money and all the jewelry. I mean, certain things are for aesthetic, but certain things are also for marketing, also for conversation.
I feel that. Yeah.
But to the naked eye or to the person who doesn't really delve into themselves or does research, they're gonna take it face value. Like, okay, I just need a chain. Very impulsively.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a part of fear in our culture, especially that that we could do better at, and that we
1000%.
could really touch on a little bit better.
1000%. I think it's hard for our culture because most of us, when we're starting out, we're already starting out from a impoverished place, and we don't want our viewers to know that, which is weird. You get what I'm saying? It's like, I'm poor, but I don't want y'all to know that. So when this music video cut on, you're going to see some change. You're going to see this, because I need to present myself as unpoor, but I am poor. You know what? And my train of thinking was always like, yo, y'all going to meet me at where I'm at. Y'all going to meet me at where I'm at. And hopefully, because you see that I'm not flashy, maybe you going to want to support me a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Hey, can somebody pay for my haircut? Because look, I'm looking mad scrubby in these music videos, bro. That's how my mindset was. If I look like I got it, then ain't no one going to support me the same way. Oh, no, you got money. You don't need support from us. No, I actually do. That's why my music, look, I don't got nothing on, bro. Look how I look at this music video. I'm going to have a hole in my shirt in this music video if I need to. But I need y'all support. We can't be afraid to let people in where we're at in our journey. You get what I'm saying? So that I never had to wrestle with. I'm just like, yo, this is where I'm at in my journey. You get what I'm saying? If y'all rock with me now, cool. Yeah. If y'all don't, cool as well. You get what I'm saying? But I'm heading there. Who's with me? You know what I mean? That's just what it came down to. But I definitely feel you on that, the pressures of that too, because it's like, I'm sure knowing that you're a part of a label and knowing that others knew that you was a part of a label, now I have to look like I'm part of a label. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And now that's like, now I have to get features like I'm part of a label. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So now it's a whole level of pressure that you wouldn't have had if you're independent, because the moment you tell somebody I got a record deal, they're expecting a different level of everything.
Facts.
You know, but all record labels aren't equal. They're not all created the same. Some record labels are still growing and still trying to build, versus others are big and established. Most people don't understand that. Most people, once they hear record label, they think check and money. And it's like, bruh, there's a record label that started it today. All they did was create the LLC. They have no money. You know what I'm saying? But from the viewers, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that there's layers to record labels, just like there's layers to mom and pop shops and fast food and everything else.
Yeah.
You know, they're not all loaded, you know, but man, just being a part of a deal like that, having to pay, so you pay for your own studio time, you pay for everything?
Well, towards the end, I paid for my own studio time.
Word.
But I was like, paying for my beats,
Word.
travel, stuff like that.
Word.
But they did provide, like, they had an office
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and they did provide like just different meetings and just getting my brand out there. They were like a sub-genre, a sub-label for Slip and Slide back in the day.
Nice.
So, that label had a lot of musical experience and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it was done purposely to put the battery on my back, but I just didn't feel part of a label. I wouldn't hear from them for months, and I didn't know which direction to push my music in. I would drop on SoundCloud, but I didn't have the good quality because I'm on Mixpad. I'm in my closet off my laptop, some Apple headphones. So they're like, oh, don't drop, da-da-da, or you're going to get cease and desist. You're going to put a cease and desist on you. So
Wait, hold on.
yeah. So I had a lot of pressure.
Okay, break this down for me. Okay, so you wouldn't hear from them for months.
Yeah.
And they weren't working with you to put out music.
No.
So they just had you just part of the label, but they weren't doing nothing with you.
Yeah,
Were you shelved?
In a sense, because there was one artist that they were pushing more. But he was like a little unstable and inconsistent with the label. But there was more of a more focus on him because he was a singer.
Oh, I got
to
you.
I'm, they're sitting back to me. Oh, don't. They're trying to. I'm coming from a street background.
Yeah.
So I'm
trying to get it.
Yeah.
You trying to get it. So you like, yo, whether y'all want to help me, I'll do it myself if I have to. I'm gonna drop this music without you.
Yeah.
I feel that, and they sent you a cease and desist.
That's what they said, that they would cease and
that
desist
they would.
me if I dropped, because they wanted me to fit a certain image. They didn't want me to rap about certain stuff. I guess because I'm coming from that street background, they don't want to push, or the prejudice of me pushing like to a certain type of music.
Yeah, I feel that.
So they wanted all like authoritative rights of what I posted or what I dropped or anything like that.
Because you represent them.
Yeah. So
that's
another
what it comes
side.
down to. Yeah, because you represent them. It's like you a part of their camp.
Yeah.
So you got to do it by how the camp wants to do it.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's tough. Knowing you, like, and obviously you know this hindsight now, you was never the type to even fit into a record label.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you walk to the beat of your own drum. You get what I'm saying? So, I'm sure that the opportunities were there, and obviously there was a lot of good that came from it. You get what I'm saying? It's not like all negative and stuff, but like, yeah, that's interesting. But I feel like, that's something that is good that you share, and a lot of artists I feel like need to share that more.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? I mean, we hear from it's so wild because we hear from all of these, big time artists that, oh, record label this, record label that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, what do? They create a record label, and they try to sign people on it, and it's like, okay, you're telling us how bad this stuff is.
Yeah.
You're promoting independency, but then at the same token, you're creating record labels and trying to get people signed at the same token.
Yeah.
So what are we doing here? You get what I'm saying? Like, so you see what they're doing, and you want to make the profit they're making, but you also want to cater to the audience that like independency. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of a contradiction.
Yeah.
Because I know if I done been through a lot of stuff with the record labels, and there's no way I'm gonna create one. You get what I'm saying? To try to lock people into the same thing I got locked into. You know, it just to say, well, that's business. That's the music business. You know, that's the answer to everything. That's the music business. You know what I mean? That's the answer to everything. Well, you're in it. That's the music business.
Yeah.
But if I don't, I'm gonna open up this Bible and show you who I serve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure you heard that a lot.
Yeah,
That's
most
music
definitely.
business. That's how. Nah, bro. No, that's your
Yes,
business.
how you do business.
That's how you
and
do
y'all
business.
people.
You get what I'm saying? Because
That's
independence is
facts,
part
so.
of the music business too. You know what I mean? But that's very interesting, man. I'm glad that you out of that, you know, and that you were able to, you know, because we created some dope stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all got to check out our song, The Harder Way,
Yeah.
off his debut album, man.
Yeah, man. And let me tell you that's one of the songs off of the project that I always go back to specifically. Not to gas you up, but bruh, your verse,
Me too.
bruh, that verse, bruh. That verse, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
Like so from the
Because you just, it was
Yeah.
the way you approached it, and you could hear the struggle in it. You get what I'm saying? Like,
And you helped out a lot in that song, just
man,
getting the cadence right.
man, come on now. See, you trying to share. We're not sharing this. Well, you gonna live and sit in this. We ain't gonna share this. You ain't gonna shoot no.
All
You can't.
right.
You had that. You had it
you.
written. You had it. It was probably like 2 3. I was like, just go up on this part. That's all I said. He tried to share. No. That was all you, fam. But bro, that verse, like, I just loved it. To this day, I absolutely love it. I mean, I love the whole song, but the way you just captured just that feel and just being in that, you know, coming from that, I felt like you spoke it perfectly. You know, and it was like the last verse of it too. It's just, it was perfect. You know, but you got a lot of dope songs, a lot of dope songs, and I know that, you know, just it's hard being an independent artist. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the hardest things to do in life. You know, it ain't for the weak. You know what I'm saying? Being an independent artist is very, very difficult. But, you know, you handled it with grace, bro. You handled it with grace. You did as much as you could, you know, and you continue to do it as you can. You know what I mean? So big ups to you for real. I know it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Yeah, and that's why I created Foreign Ape. You know, it's not a record label. It's more of like an agency to push people to independence.
I love that.
Because I got Mato Miri, he just he was in a 20K contest. He didn't make it to the last round.
Yeah.
But you know, I didn't want anything from that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, they're just under my camp.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign no paperwork. It's nothing, but I'm going to push you like, okay, if you want a brand, you know, create this brand with merch or whatever business venture that, you know, you want to do or whatever interests you.
Yeah, I love that.
So
I love that.
You know, it's not something to lock people down or you got to sign this, da-da-da.
It's just to give them game.
Yes, sir.
Just to give them
yes,
game.
Sir.
Give them game and whatever opportunities that are given to you, just share it. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what I represent.
That's what I feel like a lot of people should be doing, you know, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people who want to be a part of the music industry who actually can't make music.
Oh, wow.
So the only thing that they can do is create record labels and be managers and be people to control people who could actually make music. You get what I'm saying? This is why one of my favorite movies, Straight Outta Compton, my favorite moment in the movie is when he walked away from Suge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as he was walking out, you know what I'm saying, the aftermath. You know, I love that scene so much because, you know, Suge tried to put him in a position to make him feel like he needed him. You know what I'm saying? But Dre was looking at it like, nah.
I could do it all.
I'm the art. The art is going with me.
You can do it all.
The art ain't staying here. I'm taking the art with me. You just manage the art and make money off of the art. You can't make the art. You know what I'm saying? What he said, I'm creating Aftermath. And Aftermath became way bigger than Death Row. Lord have mercy, it became massive. I mean,
Eminem.
50, Ambler,
Like,
look, Nate Dogg, all of it. You know what I'm saying?
R.P.
Come on, you know what I mean? Like Aftermath, and now look, he was the first producer to have a set on the Super Bowl. I mean, what are we talking about right now? Wild Sugar still fighting cases? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I think,
Beats by
you know,
Dre,
I think
all
it's pretty well, we could pretty much say that Dre won that battle, you know what I'm
facts,
saying?
no,
Like,
facts.
because the art went with him,
Yeah.
you know, and I think,
That wasn't the best platform for him.
correct. I think once we as artists understand that and really understand that, like, yo, the record labels need us and we don't need them. And I think we're learning that more and more now. You go, especially with social media and stuff, we could promote ourselves now. So
Yes.
now it's like, dang, record labels, like, what can you really offer at this point? Because we could do everything ourselves.
And going back to leverage.
You know what I'm saying? The leverage. And it's crazy now because, like, record labels, they're not developing artists no more. And that's so wild to me because
And
it's
that's
like,
what's missing. That's exactly what we were saying. In the
that's what's
beginning of
missing,
this.
right? But at the same time,
Development.
it's like you're looking for artists who are already established, who already have 1 million followers and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You coming to them, offering them a record label, why would they take it at that point? They already built everything. They already have their fan base. The only thing you can offer to them at that point is to reach a higher audience that they're probably going to get to anyway. You get what I'm saying? They're not trying to develop nobody from scratch no more. And
Yep.
that's a problem, you
Yep.
know? So I think at some point we're going to get to a place that we're just going to have, like, Universal, all of those big places. But they're pretty much just going to be doing publishing deals and stuff at some point because they're not developing nobody no more. And with social media, people could build themselves up, even distribute themselves now. So
Yes.
what do we really need them for?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But, hey, that ain't my problem. We in the independent market. You feel me? You feel me? But yeah. And that's one of those. It always makes for great conversation for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. And I also feel that translates to the world today. Just having leverage. I mean, the people, you see what happened with COVID and what's going on right now with the strike. Just the mass just the buying and the spending of the goods.
Yeah.
And it's not lasting.
The ports, all of that.
I feel
leverage. Once people start realizing how much power they have,
Yes.
that's when change really happens. You know what I mean? Like, when, rest in peace, but when everything happened with George Floyd,
Okay.
and people actually decided, like, globally to start making noise about it,
Oh man.
now all of a sudden I'm seeing Black Lives Matter on the NBA courts, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
This, that, and the third. It's like, oh, now everybody feels like Black Lives Matter. And now people are like, no, you know what? This stuff really does happen. It took that many years.
Yeah.
It took one person having to feel something on their cell phone for you to see it for yourself that this is wrong. You get what I'm saying? Stuff like that bothers me because it's like every time a story happened, well, what did he do?
Yeah.
You're asking me, what did he do? He lost his life. And he was unarmed. Why does it matter what he do? I don't care if he was yelling, cursing, swinging on them. He was unarmed and he lost his life. And your first question is, what did he do? It took you having to see someone literally not doing anything, put down, knee on the neck and everything for you to be like, oh, okay.
9 minutes.
Okay, there are some people out there. Who are over aggressive. I'm like, really? Okay.
Maybe there are.
Maybe there might be, just a couple out there. Okay. Say no more, fam. Say no more. But, people, going to your point, people, when people decide to do something as a whole, it shifts things, man. It really does,
Yeah. Because we got a lot of information, and that's one thing we can thank the internet for.
Oh, for sure.
The age of the internet, just more of what was unseen. Now people see.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going on with our life. We're not knowing what's going on. Now
Yeah.
it's like every day we're on the internet. We're gonna see something that I kind of don't like that, or that
Yeah,
rubs me the wrong
that's
way
true.
every day.
Yeah.
So
That's
now
true.
we're coming to the age where more people are waking up. More
Yeah,
individuals
yeah.
are advocating for more change.
Yeah, 1000%.
And that's something we can thank to the age of social media.
Yeah, it's
aside
true.
from the negativity.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's true. And that should be talked about more. Like,
Yeah.
if there's a lot of good things that have happened because of social media, a lot of good things that have happened.
Now there's
you know?
access. You could
For
learn how to
sure.
heal yourself and
For
different
sure.
diseases, and access to great positive,
Yeah.
encouraging words.
Yeah,
and
true
things of that.
information.
Definitely.
That's all over social
Yeah.
media that you would never see on any news platforms. Like, oh, this is what they really doing.
Or article or
Or-
anything
You
like
know what
that.
I'm saying? It's like, it's funny how the articles and none of the channels got this information, but here's this guy with this one little cell phone decided to post it, and now we all know it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But it's a real thing for sure. It's a real thing for sure. I know. I'm pretty sure none of us would have ever found out about that whole boat fight scene with
Montgomery?
with the
With a chair?
yeah, with the chair, the dude swimming, all of that, the hat thrown. We would have
Yeah.
probably never known about that if somebody didn't actually film that, because it didn't make the news until it already went viral on social media. You know what I'm saying?
that
So
is true.
when you really think about a lot of stuff, man, having a cell phone nowadays, hey, just throw the camera on because you might be making history. You might be making history for real. But yeah, for sure. I know that I know that one of your questions, was like, besides obviously dealing with fear, but just like, what message would I give to
Yeah.
like, just the audience? Like, I feel like for me personally, because I do the music business coaching and all of that stuff, so I'm gonna always speak to the fellow artists or the people who want to do that. I would always say, just number one, learn. Just like you were talking about the internet, it's there. Use it. Find the resources. There's so many websites. There's so many different places. Like, so many people watch my videos on YouTube, these how-to videos and all of the game that I be putting on that stuff. I get it from the internet. Most of it I get from the internet. I've experienced a lot of it as well. You get what I'm saying? So you have my experience on top of the information, but it starts with getting the information. So first and foremost, start learning. You get what I'm saying? I remember when you was telling me you wanted to learn how to record yourself and mix and stuff like that. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, here's coming from, you're one of my clients. How many people would have been like, not to toot my own horn, but like, you're essentially telling me that you want to learn how to do it yourself so that you don't have to come to me no more. I'm like, yes. Learn that, chunk, because now you have your own leverage. You get what I'm saying? You're not limited by somebody else. You're not limited by somebody having to be there. You're not limited by somebody else's schedule. You could do it yourself. You get what I'm saying? You could put it out yourself. Like, that independency is a real thing, And, I told you straight, I'm like, it's going to take some time, but I know you could do it. There's a lot to learn. You get what I'm saying? If you want to slide through, you can come through. I'll show you some stuff. And we did that.
Yep.
We did that a couple of times. You came through, I was showing you some stuff. All of that, learning is like the key to a lot of that stuff. You get what I'm saying? So the first thing will always be to learn. And the second thing is to apply it.
Yes.
If you don't apply it, then you're just an encyclopedia sitting on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like, you got all the knowledge in the world, but if you're not using it, I know a lot of cats that know a lot of workout routines, and they don't look like they know a lot of. Oh, you know what a squat is. Yeah, you know what this is. You know what that is. But you're not applying it. So you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point of the knowledge if you don't apply it? And that goes for the scriptures as well.
Wow.
A lot of people know scriptures, bro. A lot of people know verses. Are you applying it though? Yeah, it ain't nothing if you just it's going on deaf ears. You know, like I don't remember how the scripture said it specifically, but he will know you by your works, not by what you say. That means he's judging off of what he sees you doing, not what you're saying. So you could say thou shalt not and I will not this and this, that, and the third. Oh, I know Leviticus, I know this and that, but are you applying it?
Yeah.
Because if you're not applying it, if you're not working it, you're not making any fruit. And that's the only thing he's judging you by, the fruit. That means people who are working and trying to do their best, who don't know the word, got a leg above you. Because they at least got fruit to show. You know what I mean? It may be fruit that they're not exactly sure about it, but you know what I mean?
Wow.
It's a different thing. Like you gonna let's be honest, like you're gonna appreciate the person who's putting in the work even though they don't know what they're doing, versus the person who knows what they're doing and don't want to actually do it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I take, like, when I see artists come in, like, and they're like, yo, bro, I don't know how to do this thing, but I'm willing to work. I love it. But let you come in there, I know all of it. I'm just trying to do one time. Oh, that's nope. Nope, we ain't gonna be a good fit. You know what I'm saying? When A was in there, be like, nah, let me do it again. Nah, you know what? That one was good, but let me do it again. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes though, I'm like, bro, this is great, bro. Let's just leave it alone. I don't know. Nah, you know, there's a flip side to it, but for the most part, I rather you want to work on it and get it better and better rather than the other way around. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
But that's true artists. That's true workers. That's true fruitful people. So that's like, that would be my message, is just learn as much as you can, apply as much as you can, and be fruitful as much as you can. And you should be all right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm all right, and that's the steps that I took. You know what I mean? And same as you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, look at you now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Podcasting now, and sky's to the limit to this too. Because I'm telling you, brother, everything you touch is gonna be great. As long as you keep applying yourself, because you're coming from a right place anyway. You know what I mean?
That.
So forget what anybody got to say.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, the doubt is gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I love it. I just added to the list. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, if they doubting, that just means once they become believers, it hits different. You get what I'm saying? Wow. It's one thing if you've always believed in me, I rock with you forever.
Yeah.
But for the ones who did it, when they finally do, that must mean I'm really doing something now. You get what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna show them the same love as them who've been rocking with me from the jump. But I'm still gonna show them love. It's gonna be a different. There's front seat and there's back seat.
Putting them in the
You know
trunk.
what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
Hey,
They go to the trunk.
Yeah,
They go to the trunk.
You might have to go to the trunk. Yeah, we all gonna go.
Yeah.
You gonna get in the car.
Yeah, yeah.
Your
Yeah,
seat
you
ain't
riding.
gonna be comfortable though.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? Your seat.
Hey, don't listen to
You know what I mean? There's only one seat to the right.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, next, and if we in a big old van, three seats, trunk.
Yeah.
Where you want to sit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you want to sit? You want to sit in the trunk? All right. You know what I mean? But
Shoot.
I don't blame a lot of
dig it.
doubters though, because I mean most doubters have spent their whole life doubting themselves.
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of times when they're doubting you, they're really doubting the ideal of going after what you believe you can do, because they're doubting what they believe they could do.
Yeah.
You know, it's their own trauma that they're dropping on you. You know what I mean? And as long as we always remember that and can decipher that, you know, it just let it drop. It may land on us, but hey, shove it off. You know what I mean?
Wow. That's powerful.
Yeah, man.
And you know, I do thank you for coming
Of course, bro. Always.
in the flesh. You know, you didn't
Yeah.
have to be here. You were very busy, man.
It took forever to get. Bro, I was trying. You know what it
Man.
was? I thought it was tomorrow.
Yeah, because
So I had a lot of things. I'm like, but then there's no way it could be on a Thursday. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's on a Thursday. I gotta get over there because it's 2:00. You know. But out here, I made it. By the grace of God, we made it.
I mean, this week just dragged on. Like,
Yeah,
it
it
was
did.
like, where's Friday?
It did. And it's what is a holiday today? I don't want to say it wrong. It's a holiday today. I
Yeah,
believe.
because teacher planning.
Yeah.
it
So
Hanukkah?
Hakashot or something like that. It's today, so it's like
Yeah.
they got the day off, but they're going back to school tomorrow, and it's
It was
just
a weird
crazy
week.
Yeah, it's a weird week for sure. But I appreciate you for having me for sure.
Oh, for sure. Thank you for coming because I had the Uber here and I got dropped like 15 minutes across town. So I'm like,
Man.
dang, like, no. This is trials I got to go through. I feel like Joe.
You know, and that just tells me that somebody's gonna be blessed by this interview one way or the other
I feel that.
because of how difficult
Yeah.
it was for us to get here.
Wow.
That means something was trying to stop us from making this possible. So that means somebody's gonna get blessed by it. And I hope that they put in the comment section that they were blessed by it or whatever the case may be. We better hear that testimony. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
something's coming for sure.
I feel that. Man,
For sure.
it was such a blessing sitting down with you, my boy.
Of course, brother. Of course.
Yes, sir.
Anytime, bro. Anytime. For sure.
All right. See y'all next time. Yeah. Buzz on A Block. You know what it is. Bow.